Welcome into this live edition of NFL Daily by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for stopping by. We got a loaded show ahead as we have the latest news and rumors from across the National Football League, talking about Russell Wilson, Bill Belichick, Kirk Cousins, also Jaire Alexander. We're going to go through a list of 15 players most likely to get traded this offseason. Some star players to watch. We'll do a Q&A mailbag coming up later on. Use hashtag NFL or Super Chat to get on the mailbag portion of the show. As you guys file in, we get this show started. Shout out your city, your team rather, and we'll shout you out as we get on the air ready to go. Breaking news coming within about the last 15 minutes that the Atlanta Falcons are hiring Raheem Morris as their next head coach. And a bit of a shocker that they go with Raheem Morris. If you recall, they have some prior history. Raheem Morris was the interim head coach for Atlanta at one point in time. Didn't do that great of a job. He was also the Tampa Bay Bucks head coach many, many years ago and did a pretty poor job there. But he's been one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. Did a good job with the LA Rams. Going to get another shot. And Big Tex is here with me today. Big Tex, this is an interesting story. This development here. Maybe we can even throw like a breaking news bar or something
for sure.
up
I got you.
about this news. As you guys file in, shout out your favorite team. The Falcons went from thinking they were going to hire Bill Belichick, and he was the odds-on favorite. It was his job to lose. They were all in on Bill Belichick, and then we heard reports today that stuff was falling apart at the 11th hour, that they couldn't really come to terms with Belichick, and now they settle for Raheem Morris here. Listen, I got my doubts about Belichick at this age, but what a fall from grace to go from thinking you were getting Bill Belichick to Raheem Morris. To me, that's just crazy that things went down that way. Robert's a Raiders fan. Bulls Nation is a Vikings fan. That doesn't make sense. Cameron, thank you. Cameron, the Bills fan. Got Barry, a Dolphins fan. Coach Treadhead, one of my Seahawks Today guys, he's a Seattle fan. Jody is a Niners fan. Brody is a Falcons fan. Peyton, a Bucks fan. John is me. He's a Cowboys fan. Brody, a Falcons fan. Josh is a Raiders fan. I got Christopher is a hardcore Patriots fan. Got Brody, a Falcons fan. Brody, how you feeling? Says that's better than Arthur Smith. I don't know about that, to be honest. Let's see. Peyton is a Bucks fan. Nathan says, go Hawks. I assume that's my Seattle Seahawks, that is. Big Tex, Raheem Morris, what do you think? I am very surprised.
Surprised and disappointed at the same time.
Even if they weren't going to get Belichick, I thought they would still keep on swinging for another big name.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Raheem Morris, especially the fact that he has already tried to be a head coach in Atlanta, and obviously it was an interim role, but that still plays a part in my opinion.
It didn't go well.
Didn't go well. So I don't really understand why Arthur Blank down in Atlanta was like, you know what, this didn't work once, but if we try it again, it might work a second time. I just think you need more guarantee with the head coach, and Raheem Morris has never been a proven winner.
Let's do a weigh-in on the fly. If you can get this ready for me, Tex.
I got you.
I want to know from you guys, while we're talking about this Raheem Morris deal, do you like the hire? Is it did the Falcons make the right decision? Here's your question. Did the Falcons make the right decision hiring Raheem Morris? Y for yes, N for no. I think it's a bad hire, personally speaking. I think they could have done a lot better. Even Belichick, even though I have my doubts on Belichick, I'd sure rather take a chance on Belichick than go with Raheem Morris as the hire here. What do you guys think? Y for yes, N for no. Did the Falcons make the right hire with Raheem Morris? Weigh in and tell me what you think. I think it's a mistake. I think you would have been better off keeping Arthur Smith at that point than going with Raheem Morris here. Y for yes, N for no. Brody is spamming the chat saying mid. Michael is saying no. Christopher says no. Cha says no. Cameron says no. Matthew Peterson is going to be live on our Falcons channel coming up later with reaction to this. And so if you're a Falcons fan, if you want some more insights, he'll have some more analysis and breakdown on this. But want to keep continuing what you guys have to say about this. Brandon says no. Coach Dreadhead says no. Junior says no. Brian says no. Lore is the only one in the chat that seems to like this hire of Raheem Morris by Atlanta. What do you guys think? Y for yes, N for no. I think it's a bad hire. I think they're going to regret it later. Jason says no. I give Raheem Morris no more than 3 years in Atlanta. He will be out of there within 3 years. I'm calling it right now. Sorry, Raheem Morris. That's my prediction here. Bad hire by Atlanta. 2 jobs remaining. Seattle and Washington are now the only jobs left. Now, a job that I would like to see open, that should open, is Buffalo. They should fire Sean McDermott today. And that would be the best job opening by far. But I do not think Buffalo is going to fire Sean McDermott, unfortunately. He should be fired. I mean, you got all that talent in Buffalo and you can't get past the divisional round? My goodness. Put Belichick in Buffalo. Let's keep him in the division, go to Buffalo and see what happens. All right. And then, of course, the other news today, you had the Panthers hiring Dave Canales, which, I think that's a better hire than Raheem Morris. It's not I don't think it's a home run. I don't think it's a sure thing, but it's better than Raheem Morris anyway. Today's show is sponsored by GameTime. GameTime, the place to go for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more. Last-minute tickets, best seats, lowest prices, guaranteed. Here's how it works. You download the GameTime app, choose the event you want to go to. They got the seats and the prices listed. You choose the seat you want, and then within a matter of moments, you're checking out on GameTime. And you can do so with Apple Pay, Google Pay, a number of easy options to choose from. And you can save $20 off your first purchase when you use the promo code NFL Chat. But that's not all, folks. Wait, there's more. Planning to go to the big game in Las Vegas? You know what I'm talking about. That big game. If you go to that big game, of the 2 words I can't say because this is an advertisement, you can save $100 with the promo code Vegas100. And that's not just for first-time users either, folks. So, if you plan to go to that big game that features 2 teams in Las Vegas in 2 weeks, you can do so and save $100. You could save $120 potentially using the promo code NFL Chat if it's your first purchase. And then Vegas 100 as well, save $120. Link is in the chat right now. Game time. Download today. Terms and conditions do apply. Big Tex, was I convincing on what that big game was, you think?
Oh, yeah. I think you made it obvious without making it obvious. Yeah, for sure.
Who do you got, Chiefs or Ravens, this weekend in the AFC Championship game? I think this could be a fantastic game. 2 of the best quarterbacks in football. I think the most talented quarterback in the history of the game and the most explosive quarterback in the history of the game, going head-to-head. For me, though, Tex, the defense is the difference here. I love the Baltimore Ravens defense, and I think the Ravens find a way to get it done at home and go to the AFC Championship game. Chiefs, they got hot at the right time, but my money's on Baltimore here. What do you think, Tex?
I'm with you. I mean, obviously, you can never count out Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid in the playoffs, but like I said, top to bottom, I think the Ravens have a better roster. I think Lamar is a little bit more explosive than Mahomes. Mahomes is probably the better, quarterback overall in terms of accolades and talent and whatnot, but I think explosiveness is important. I think both defenses are really good. Like the Chiefs' defense has gotten a lot better this year, but I still think the Ravens have the slight edge over them. I'd go Ravens as well.
Yeah, I'm going Ravens. Checking in on the chat. Who do you got? Brody says Ravens. Christopher says Chiefs. Chaw, Shelley, Chaw, and Lore. Even Lore's a Chiefs fan saying Ravens. Barry says Ravens. Brandon, let's go Brandon, says Ravens. Chaw says Ravens. Dalton says Ravens. Jason says Ravens. Shelley says Ravens. Chaw says Ravens. Jay says Chiefs. Cameron says Ravens. Brandon says sorry, Mahomes. Shelley says Ravens. Justin says Chiefs. Jason says Ravens. Caitlin says Ravens. Cobra Kai World says Ravens. Cobra Kai. Remind me, what was Cobra Kai? Karate Kid. Yes. That refers to the original, right? Okay, yeah. It's been a while since I've seen Karate Kid. Mr. Roebuck says, I'm rooting against Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl. Not that I don't like her. It just feels too suspect if that happens. Well, they still got to get there first. They still got to beat the Ravens. Hold on, one thing at a time. How about the NFC Championship? The Lions taking on the 49ers. 49ers might be without Brandon Ayuk, potentially. While the Lions playing some really good football, first road game in the playoffs for them. Who are you going with? L for Lions, 4 for 49ers. Get your predictions in. I got to tell you, I think the Niners win. I think they win probably by about a touchdown is what I'm feeling here. I think this is like a 30-23 game with the Niners, taking care of business at the end of this football game. But that's where I'm leaning towards. I think the Niners, we talked about the last game, better roster, 1 through 53, specifically that defense. That's the difference for me. Brock Purdy takes the Niners to the Super Bowl. I'm typing 4 in the chat. Who you got? L for Lions, 4 for 49ers. Laura's saying Niners. Michael says Niners. Brandon says Niners. Jody says Niners. Go Panthers. Christopher, Shelley, and Dalton all say the Lions. Big Tex, where are you landing on this game?
I'm going 49ers.
I'm rooting for the Lions, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I think the Niners are going to win, unfortunately.
Yeah.
As a Cowboys fan, very unfortunate.
I think America is going to be rooting on the Detroit Lions. That's a great story. Great underdog story. Coming up on today's show, news and rumors talking Russell Wilson to Las Vegas, potentially. Also, Kirk Cousins and Bill Belichick. Let's change that to, say, Commanders. Yeah. We'll be covered there. We'll do a Q&A mailbag coming up later. Big Tex needs your questions. Hashtag NFL or Super Chat to get your questions on the mailbag. The more questions, the better, folks. So send those away using hashtag NFL Super Chat, $, below the chat box. They moved it back below the chat box. Not to the right of the chat box anymore. YouTube messing with me and everything. It's there, though. Super Chats get priority on those, by the way, on the questions. And then I have 15 star players who could be traded this offseason. We will tell you who those are and go over them coming up in just a matter of moments. We got that? All right, cool. Text says we're good to go. So, folks, let's get after it. Let's get started here on this Thursday live edition of NFL Daily by Chat Sports. We'll get started right now. Coming up on today's show, could Russell Wilson be headed to Viva Las Vegas? What about Bill Belichick and Kirk Cousins pairing up in Washington with the Commanders? And Jaire Alexander, has he played his last game for the Green Bay Packers? We will dive into all of that and more coming up on this edition of NFL Daily. Before we do, if you want your team to win the Super Bowl, like today's video, don't jinx it. Now, you may be saying, Tyler, there's only 4 teams left. I don't root for any of those 4 teams. Well, if you want your team to win the Super Bowl next year, like the video and don't jinx it. Do your part. Don't be the reason why your team doesn't win at all. Like the video and we'll get started with today's show. Russell Wilson, according to reports a while back, will not return to the Denver Broncos next season. And he's got plenty of options out there, especially when you consider the contract situation that he could play for the minimum somewhere and then force the Broncos to pay all his money at his next location. And one idea that's being suggested by ESPN is him staying within the division in the AFC West and going to the arch rival Las Vegas Raiders. Listen to this, what an anonymous source told ESPN about Russ in Vegas. The Raiders need a vet, and they are one of Wilson's original teams he wanted to go to. He'd stay in the AFC West, West Coast, and Russell Wilson's wife, Ciara, could do a Las Vegas residency as a live performer. Now you have me intrigued. I might be going to Vegas now to see a Ciara residency here, folks. That you got me sold. Forget the Raiders. I want to go see Ciara. Now, think about this, too. If you're the Las Vegas Raiders, you're in an interesting predicament. You hired Antonio Pierce largely in part, to keep your players happy, like Davante Adams and Max Crosby, in particular Max Crosby. And now you have to start thinking, okay, do you guys want to do this? Do you want Russ in this locker room? Do you want a veteran quarterback rather than resetting and starting over with a rookie quarterback? Because essentially these guys control this team, and the direction of it goes is Crosby and Adams. They might be the most powerful players in the NFL with as much control they have on this Raiders team. If that's what these guys want, then it might be the right move. Russell Wilson, last year, had a solid year, despite what people say. Russell Wilson still threw for 3,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, much improved, even with not playing the last couple of games when he got benched. He still had the most touchdowns he's had since the 2020 season. Sure, the arm strength isn't what it used to be for Russell Wilson, but he showed that he could take a step in the right direction. And with that team-friendly contract that he could sign for somebody, Russell Wilson all of a sudden looks intriguing. You got more money you can spend elsewhere that way. Las Vegas, that might be a pretty interesting idea. What do you guys think? Should the Raiders sign Russell Wilson? It's our pinned comment today. Y for yes, N for no. Way in the comment section. Tell me what you think. Today's show is sponsored by GameTime. GameTime, the best place to go for last-minute tickets for the best seats and the lowest prices, guaranteed. Here's how it works. You choose the event you want to go to, whether it's a sporting event, concert, theater production, comedy show, and more. And they got the event listed. You then choose the seat you want, and you're checking out within just a matter of moments on GameTime. You can use Apple Pay, Google Pay. Very simple and easy to use, and you can get $20 off your first purchase when you use the promo code NFL Chat. But that's not all, folks. If you're planning to go to the big game, and because this is an advertisement, I can't say what that big game is, but you know what I'm talking about. The one that's coming up in 2 weeks in Las Vegas. If you want to go to that big game, you can save $100 when you use the promo code Vegas100. But wait, there's more. What if you're a first-time user of GameTime and you decide to go to the big game in Las Vegas? You can do so with using both promo codes, NFL Chat to save the 20 and Vegas100 to save $100. So then you're saving $120 on your big game ticket. So download GameTime today. Terms and conditions do apply. Link is in the comments and description of today's video. GameTime, proud partner of NFL Daily by Chat Sports. Sign up today. Start saving on tickets for the big game. Wink, wink. All right, Bill Belichick, where is he going to go? It won't be the Atlanta Falcons now that they've hired Raheem Morris, and that's a whole nother story that just doesn't make sense. You went from thinking you were going to hire the greatest coach of all time to a coach that failed in 2 stints as a head coach. An interim right there in Atlanta, and then in Tampa Bay. He's a good coordinator, but whatever. They passed on Belichick, and now there is a rumor out there from an NFL insider for Odds Checker about the idea of pairing Belichick with Kirk Cousins. Now, the idea he thought of was with the Atlanta Falcons. Obviously, that's not going to happen. But there's another possibility here. I'll explain. I'll start with this idea. What happens when Belichick accepts the head coaching position in Atlanta? That didn't happen. The Falcons go after Kirk Cousins to throw passes to Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts. Okay, so that didn't happen. But wait, here's an idea, folks. What about a certain team in the nation's capital that is trying to make a splash? Bill Belichick. Oh, and they need a quarterback. And Belichick is probably not going to go with a young quarterback because, you know, he's older than my grandparents. So, with that said, a veteran and Belichick together. Oh, and there's a certain veteran that used to play for that franchise. Could we see Belichick and Kirk Cousins pair up in Washington? It's not going to be in Seattle, I can tell you that much. Check this out. Belichick. We know the resume. It's incredible. Former head coach with the Patriots and with the Browns, 6-time Super Bowl champion. We know how good Belichick is, right? And then you put in Kirk Cousins, who coming off an injury. He could cost a significant amount, but if you are the Washington Commanders, you have money to spend. And I know some of you were saying, well, Cousins had a bad experience in Washington. They treated him like crap and everything. And all that's true. But this is a different ownership group, different front office. Hell, they even have a different name than when Kirk Cousins last played for them. This might be a home run idea potentially. What do you think? What are the chances of Belichick and Cousins ending up in Washington together? Scale it for me in the comments section 1 through 10. The possibility of Belichick and Cousins going to the nation's capital. For the latest happenings across the National Football League, subscribe now to NFL Daily by Chat Sports as we bring you daily coverage of the NFL. It's like it's in our name or something. We are live for every single playoff game on the channel, as well as we'll be bringing you both the AFC and NFC championship games coming up this Sunday. And then we got the big game in a couple weeks after that as well. So go ahead and subscribe now. Join the family. Be a part of what we're doing here on the NFL Daily. For the latest happenings across the National Football League, we got you covered. Subscribe now. All right, one more thing before we go. Jaire Alexander. Could he have played his last game with the Green Bay Packers? He posted a cryptic message, that's what the kids call it, on the Gram, the IG, about his future with the Green Bay Packers and said the following. Thank you, God. Thank you, Lambeau, for 6 years. Thank you to those who showed me love throughout my journey. Okay, now that sounds like he's saying goodbye, expecting to be moved, right? Now, he had that whole coin flip debacle, and that cost him to get suspended, and he just looked like a complete dumbass, right? Personally, if a guy can't take care of a coin toss, I don't want to put a ton of trust and faith in Jaire Alexander, personally speaking. Plus, the money he commands, he's not cheap either. Now, he is one of the best at his position. He's been to multiple Pro Bowls already. Coming off a down year, but he is just a year removed from having 5 picks in 2022, along with 14 pass breakups. No one's questioning if Jaire is a good player or not. He's just expensive and a little bit of a knucklehead. That's all. Now, where could he end up? 3 possible destinations come to mind right away for Jaire Alexander. One is the Kansas City Chiefs. We know what they have in Trent McDuffie, but if you pair him up and Alexander together, that could be very interesting. The Jags. They're a team that their identity is supposed to be on their defense. Defense wasn't what it was lived up to be this year. And then the Houston Texans. Houston is ascending. Won 10 games. Add him to that secondary. Now you might be cooking with bacon grease there in Houston. Where will Jaire Alexander play next season? Weigh in the comment section and tell me where you think he ultimately is going to end up. Appreciate you joining us here on this edition of NFL Daily. Like the video if you enjoyed today's show. Even if you hated today's show, you made it to the end of the video, might as well like it. We'll see you next time here on the channel. Tex, good job holding together. I could see you laughing throughout the segment. Big game. The big game. Where 2 teams play each other for a championship in professional football. Should the Raiders sign Russell Wilson? Y for yes, N for no. What do you think, Tex? If you were the Raiders, would you be bringing in Russ? It's a much different situation than when he was available last time around.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. Honestly, I don't think I would. I know he's a veteran, but how many more years are you going to get of solid quarterback play from Russell? I mean, he's what, like 32 now? Something like that? 30, 32 years old?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you probably get like 1 to 2 years of consistent play, and then after that, I feel like the drop-off's got to be massive. Not that Aiden O'Connell's the answer either. He's not. I think you got to draft a QB personally. I think that's the best route.
Yeah, I just don't know if they have time to develop a quarterback with the veterans that are waiting for them to go.
Yeah, that's a good point.
What do you guys think? Y for yes, N for no. Should the Raiders sign Russell Wilson? Weigh in. Tell us what you think. Mailbag coming up. I need questions because I got plenty of answers for you, but I need you guys to send them in. Hashtag NFL or Super Chat to get your questions in. I don't know if we've gotten any questions in the mailbag yet.
Let's check.
I'm looking Harvey, Cottage, Cobra Kai, Nathan. Why are you guys not sending any questions yet? There we go. DC Viper has got a question in. I need some more. Like Cobra Kai, very interesting comment there on T. Higgins. Use hashtag NFL. We'll throw you on the show. We'll put your avatar, your message up, your name, and everything. But you have to use for our software hashtag NFL or Super Chat. I don't know how many times I have to explain this. Too many times. Every damn show, I explain how the mailbag works. It's not that complicated, folks. This is a chance to get free screen time. If I were a viewer, I would be sending in questions every week and getting myself on screen. Instead, I have to deliver the show. Cobra, my guy, hashtag NFL in the comments so we can put you on screen. I can't put it on screen unless you do that. Simple as that. Some people don't like to listen, you know. Okay. Yes. What a guy indeed. I'm going to put 2 minutes on the clock. Like Nathan, good question. Hashtag NFL or Super Chat to get your question on the show. I can't answer it unless you put it in. I'm putting 2 minutes on the clock. We'll start this mailbag in 2 minutes, but I got to have some questions come in. Got to have some stuff to talk about. It's the pound sign. And you put in NFL, and then you put it in the question you're going to ask in the chat box. Doesn't matter. I'm seeing people talk about Brett Favre in the chat. Ugh. There we go, Cobra Kai. Golf clap. Golf clap. All right. I got enough questions to start. If you think of more as we're going along, yep. If you think of any more as we're going along, keep on sending them. Got some follow-up questions, whatever. We're going to do about an 8 to 10 minute mailbag here. So without further ado, we shall get going on this mailbag edition of NFL is Daily. NFL is Daily. Tyler Jones, Big Tex here with you on this Thursday afternoon. Thanks for wrapping up your work week with us. My weekend begins tomorrow, and I'm excited about it. There we go. All right, here we go, folks. Let's get after it. Here we go. Mailbag time here on NFL Daily. Coming up on today's show, we are going to answer your mailbag questions. But first, I want to make sure you are a part of the Noti Gang. Those are the folks that have their notifications turned on, and they are alerted right away when we put up new content here on the channel. If we have a live show or a watch party, whatever it may be, when you have your noties turned on, you're going to be alerted right away when we have the new content on the channel. So what are you waiting for? Not only subscribe to NFL Daily by Jet Sports, but turn on notifications so you stay up to date what's happening across the National Football League. We got you covered. I like turtles. Shout out Scott Van Pelt, writes in. Which QB would you rather have on Sunday, Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes? I got to tell you, I like both quarterbacks a lot. I think when you dissect both of them, the thing that stands out to me, let's start with Lamar. Lamar is the most explosive player in football. Maybe the most explosive player we've ever seen in the history of the game, right? And then you compare to how this season has gone for Lamar Jackson. No quarterback has played better this year than Lamar Jackson, what he's done with the Baltimore Ravens. And even with Mark Andrews going down, the way he connected with Isaiah Likely, and we're on the same page, to the development of Zay Flowers. We've seen OBJ have his moments, Nelson Aguilar, The run game's come along nicely, the best run game in football here. Lamar and this team is clicking right now in ways that you can't say the same thing about Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, let's give Mahomes his dues. There's not a more talented quarterback in the history of this game than Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs have had the best run of any team in the NFL over the last 6 years, with 6 straight AFC title appearances and 2 Super Bowl championships to their name, 3 AFC championships to their name. It has been an incredible run. But Chiefs have not looked the part this year. The receiving core has been ass cheeks in the 2023 campaign. They've played better as of late, but they don't look like a championship football team. Lamar and the Ravens, they look like a championship football team. What quarterback would I rather have this Sunday? It's Lamar Jackson. That's the answer I go with here personally. Which quarterback would you rather have on Sunday? Is it Lamar or is it Patrick Mahomes? Type L for Lamar Jackson. Type P for Patrick Mahomes. Weigh in the comment section and tell me what you think here on our pinned comment today. Bob Marley, don't worry, be happy. Will Mark Andrews play on Sunday against the Chiefs? All signs point to indicate that Mark Andrews is going to give it a go. And I got to tell you, I think that we're going to see Mark Andrews not just out there to be out there. I think that Mark Andrews is going to lay everything out on the line. This guy doesn't ever take it easy, right? We've seen in the past when he's been injured. First game back, he was right up to full strength and it looked like he had never left. I'm expecting that type of performance from Mark Andrews this weekend, that he looks the part. I don't think he would be out there if he didn't feel like he could play at a high level. Now, luckily for Baltimore, with the way Isaiah Likely's played, that if Mark Andrews, for whatever reason, is not fully up to speed, Likely's more than capable of handling the job, and maybe this creates a scenario where you can open up the offense a little bit with some 2 tight end sets or something like that. But I think that you're going to see Mark Andrews play and play very well, and I think there's a chance that he's the best tight end on the field this Sunday. Yes, maybe the greatest tight end of all time is on the other side, Travis Kelce, but you better believe the Ravens are going to be double-teaming Kelce and try to take him away all game. That's what I would do if I was Mike McDonald and the Ravens defense. What tight end is going to have the better game on Sunday? Is it Mark Andrews or is it Travis Kelce? Type M for Mark Andrews. Type T for Travis Kelce. Weigh in. Tell me in the comment section which tight end is going to have the better day for the Baltimore Ravens or the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. M for Mark Andrews, T for Travis Kelce. All right, folks, you guys know all about our T-shirt and hat combo that we sell at chatsports.com/NFL combo. But get this, folks. For a limited time, we're offering 25% off. So it doesn't matter what your team is. If you're a Ravens fan, maybe an Eagles fan, Niners fan, whatever it is, we have plenty of options for you. I like the Seattle one, too. Great choices. And they're all available at the same place. Chatsports.com/NFL combo. Get yours now while supplies last. They are going hot, folks. 25% off your purchase now. Chatsports.com/NFL combo to get yours today. Link is in the comments and description of today's video. Cobra Kai World, all right, Sin. Do you see Stefon Diggs getting traded to the Cowboys? I do see Stefon Diggs getting traded. I don't know if it's to Dallas. I love CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb, I think, is one of the top 2 or 3 receivers in the NFL. But he does need a running mate, a partner of some sorts. Stefon Diggs, I think, could be a great option for them. I don't think he would be a cheap option for them, though. He's going to command a lot, and his salary already takes a lot as is. Cowboys, if I remember correctly, are over the cap entering 2024, so they'd have to clear some money potentially. It sounds like a good fit, but there's a lot of hurdles to get there. But I do not believe Stefon Diggs is back in Buffalo, that he will be moved. He's made it known he's not happy with how things have been handled there. And, I mean, why should he be happy when he's got to deal with Sean McDermott as his head coach? Laura writes in, what should the Lions do if they don't make it to the Super Bowl? Keep on keeping on. I mean, really. They are on the right track. The Lions aren't going anywhere. This is not a one-hit wonder, okay? This is not like Smash Mouth with that song All-Star. They will be back. This team has got a great foundation set. They've drafted well. They've spent their money well. They have a great head coach in Dan Campbell. They found their franchise quarterback in Jared Goff. Keep on building. Keep on getting better. If this is it, if this is the end of the road for them this year, losing the NFC Championship game, they can live with that, and they got a lot of reason to be optimistic for their future, Laura. Cameron writes in, do you think, I think that means Vrabel, will be the Seahawks' next head coach? Also, do you think the Chargers will be a contender under Harbaugh in after next year? I think he means after next season. Yeah. Let's start with the Seahawks part. Vrabel, no. I would love to see Vrabel in Seattle, but it doesn't sound like Seattle's interested in Vrabel. That he's too much of a culture shock of sorts from happy, jolly Pete Carroll to in-your-face Mike Vrabel, that they don't want to make that type of culture change, which I think is a shame. I think Vrabel would be great in Seattle. As far as the Chargers go, I think Jim Harbaugh is a great fit. I like him and Herbert together. This is going to be by far the best quarterback he's ever had at any stop. I mean, some of you are going to say, well, he had Andrew Luck at Stanford. That's a college quarterback, okay? I mean, Justin Herbert is better now than what Andrew Luck was back at Stanford, obviously. So with that said, yes, I think that they are well on their way. Are they going to be a contender next year? Maybe. If they get the right talent around, they got some changes to make that roster. I don't think the Chargers are very far off. I think they're going to be great. Last question comes in from Chris Topher. I had a friend growing up named Christopher. We called him Topher. He says, how do the Falcons hire Raheem Morris over a 6-time Super Bowl champion coach? Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, like, you guys seen that Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan movie? Why? That's how I feel if I were a Falcon fan right now. How did we go from Bill Belichick, the GOAT, to Raheem Morris? Why? If you're a Falcons fan, you probably feel like, Nancy Kerrigan getting hit with that, metal pole, from Tanya Harding's Hitman. That's probably how you feel right now. That's got to hurt. I mean, absolutely. I don't know how it happened. It was out of left field. I didn't see it coming. I don't think anybody saw it coming. Does it make sense? No, not at all. I know that there's some doubts about Belichick and, at his age and how things ended in New England, but I'd still sure take a chance on that over Raheem Morris. It doesn't add up to me. I don't get it at all, but, the Falcons are going to Falcon. Arthur Blank is going to Arthur Blank. Before we head out here, give us your bold prediction for the NFL Conference Championship games. Whether it's an upset, maybe a player that stands out, give me a bold prediction of what's going to happen this weekend. Let us know. Appreciate you joining us. Subscribe for the latest happenings across the National Football League. We got you covered. We'll see you next time. 2 down, 1 to go. You know what I'm talking about, that Tanya Harding video? Whang! Tanya Harding. Man, that was a classic moment. Coop, you need something. Hello, Coop. How we doing? Very good. Very good. We're about to talk about top star players that will be traded, that could be traded this offseason. Little tease, Coop. Who do you think's getting traded? Justin Fields. That's a good one. Very good one. 15 players who could be traded this offseason. That is coming up next. So stick around for that, and then we'll wrap up and call it a week after that. So also, quick plug. Big Tex, you and I, we are going to be live for the AFC Championship game.
Yes, sir.
Over on Ravens Rundown. We might just have to make you wear like a Chiefs jersey or something, just to kind of really
I'm down.
Mess some people up here or something. We'll be live for that. Don't miss out.
You want me to throw the sub link in the chat?
Yeah, throw the Ravens sub link.
I got you.
Join us on Sunday. Ravens Chiefs AFC Championship watch party live on Ravens Rundown. We're going to root on the Ravens together. Subscribe now. and we got an hour-long pregame show. I got to be here early because we got an hour-long pregame show. If I got to be here early, you got to be here early on Sunday. That's how it works. 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll see you then here on over on Ravens Rundown. All right, final segment. Let's talk 15 players that could be dealt at the trade deadline. By the way, on this, when I name a player, go ahead and go to the weigh-in, and then we'll finish out the rest of the Player 5 rank after. So, like when we do Davante Adams, after I talk about him, then go to the weigh-in. And then we'll finish the rest of that, and if that makes sense. Okay, cool. All right. Well, let's do the thing. All right, here we go, folks. Trade rumors right now. The NFL offseason is here, and with that comes trade rumors. On today's edition of NFL Daily, I have 15 star players that we believe could be traded this offseason, could be playing for another team. We'll tell you who those are in just a moment. Before we do, who is it? Before I reveal my list, who is a player that you believe is ultimately going to get traded? Weigh in the comment section. Let us know who that is. All right, let's start with Davante Adams of the Las Vegas Raiders. I love Davante Adams. Davante Adams still one of the best, if not the best, wide receivers in football. But if we're going to be honest with you, when you look at the Las Vegas Raiders, new head coach, new GM, probably their most valuable offensive asset, they could get something for them. And the Raiders have to decide, are we really rebuilding this thing, or are we just trying to, salvage kind of what we got here? And I think there's a good chance the Raiders say, you know what, let's try to get something out of Davante Adams because we're not contending for a Super Bowl this year, and ultimately try to move on from him. What do you guys think? Will the Raiders trade Davante Adams? Is he going to be done with this new head coach and GM coming in? Why for yes and for no? Weigh in the comment section. Put your GM hat on. Tell me what you think. Stefon Diggs of the Buffalo Bills. It is no secret. He is not very happy with the Buffalo Bills and has been for quite some time. And the Bills, they are in salary cap hell. Diggs is not getting any younger. Now might be the opportunity they need to try to capitalize and get something while they still can out of Stefon Diggs. Joey Bosa of the LA Chargers. Jim Harbaugh is coming in as their next head coach, but Bosa commands a lot of money. And you look at this Chargers team, they have some decent pieces, but they're still a few steps away from being a serious threat. Might be best for them to try to see what they can get out of Joey Bosa. The New Orleans Saints are a hot mess. Let's just be honest here. Alvin Kamara at the running back position. Kamara has had his off-the-field issues, and we've started to see him take a step back a bit. Granted, the running back market is not going to let you get a whole lot, but maybe this might be the opportunity for New Orleans to say goodbye. Jerry Jeudy. I've been talking Jerry Jeudy rumors for almost 3 years now, and the man has still found a way to stay in Denver all this time. I like Jerry Jeudy, but what we've seen is he's been underutilized. He hasn't been performed to his full potential and capabilities, and I think that falls on the system in quarterback play. Another situation where there's too many teams that need receivers. Denver, closer to the bottom, they are atop. Sean Payton making it known this is his team now with moving on from Russell Wilson and everything. I could very well see Jerry Jeudy being moved potentially. Today's show is sponsored by GameTime. GameTime is the place to go for last-minute tickets for the lowest prices guaranteed. The best seats could be right in your hands. Here's how it works. You pick the event you want to go to. They get the prices listed. Then the seats. You get to see if you like that seat or not. And then within a matter of moments, you're checking out on GameTime. And it's very easy. You can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, a number of products to choose from. And we are offering $20 off on your first purchase when you use the promo code NFL Chat. But wait, there's more. If you're planning to go to the big game in Las Vegas that's in a couple of weeks from now, that game, you can save $100 off your tickets for the big game. But wait, there's more. You can also save $120. You can combine the two promo codes. NFL Chat to save $20 off your first purchase, and then $100 using the promo code Vegas100 for the big game. It's a great deal, folks. So you don't even have to be a first-time user if you want to use the big game offer of promo code Vegas100. What are you waiting for? The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Game Time, proud partner of NFL Daily by Chat Sports. Start saving on your tickets to the Wink Wink big game in the comment section below. All right, this one a little obvious for everybody. Justin Fields of the Chicago Bears. It seems like the Bears are likely going to take Caleb Williams with the number 1 pick, reset the rookie clock. Generational talent at quarterback, Caleb Williams coming in. Fields, I still like Fields, but I don't feel like he was ever set up to succeed. With Eberflus as his head coach, the offensive line was hot garbage. I mean, just a mess, and he struggled to stay healthy. I think Fields needs a fresh start, and he could go somewhere and succeed, quite frankly, if he could move on and be in a good position. Where will Justin Fields play next season? If it's not Chicago, where is it? Way in the comments section. Give me your opinion where you think he ultimately is going to go. For the best NFL news and rumors on YouTube, subscribe now to NFL Daily as we talk about what's happening across the National Football League. We're going to be live for every playoff game, including the AFC, NFC Championship, and the big game. Subscribe now and stay alert what's happening in the NFL. We got you covered. Subscribe now. You'll be glad you did. Brandon Ayuk. Let's go, Brandon. Brandon Ayuk, very good player with the San Francisco 49ers, but now the Niners got to start thinking about their bottom line. They were saving so much money with Brock Purdy on that rookie contract that pays him $800,000 a year. Well, they got to start paying some guys now. Ayuk might not have the money to be able to keep him around along with all that other talent they got. Justin Simmons of the Denver Broncos, good player, but part of the kind of reloading of sorts, kind of resetting things as far as that goes with Justin Simmons on that front. We'll see where he ultimately is going to go. But I got to tell you, I'm not sold that Justin Simmons definitely gets dealt, but he will be a name. It's not a foregone conclusion that he is going to be that guy or not. Next on our list is Mac Jones. Oh, sorry, guys. Yeah, here we go. Try that again. Next on the list is Mac Jones. And I got to tell you, I like Mac Jones. I know things didn't work out, but that offensive line was so atrocious. The weapons around him weren't good. Bill O'Brien did not know what he was doing. Mac Jones, I think, would be worth bringing in potentially for a little quarterback competition. Wouldn't be a bad backup option either. Does anybody think that Brock Purdy is that much better than Mac Jones, really? I'd be curious how Mac would perform if he was in a situation like San Francisco, potentially. A few more names here for you. Amari Cooper of the Cleveland Browns is on this list. Amari Cooper hasn't been in Cleveland too long, but he is getting older and he is due a lot of money, and so that could be an option for Cleveland to try to see what they could get out of him. Mike Williams, kind of the same reason we talked about LA in a rebuild mode, seeing what they could do potentially there. The Seattle Seahawks, Tyler Lockett at the wide receiver position, owed $16 million next year. They already have JSN behind him along with DK Metcalf. Seahawks are over the cap by about $4 million. Might be time to see what you can get out of Tyler Lockett at this point and get that $16 million off the books. Tyron Smith, the offensive tackle for the Dallas Cowboys, also makes this list, as does Jaire Alexander from the Green Bay Packers, who already kind of put out a goodbye message of sorts on his social media over the weekend and has not made Green Bay Packer fans too happy after what he said after the coin toss debacle and all that a couple weeks back. Now, who's the player you want your favorite team to trade for? Weigh in the comment section. Give me a name that comes to mind, and let us know. And we'll see you next time, right here on NFL Daily. All right, we will about sign off here in just a moment. Want to make sure, a reminder, you guys subscribe to the channel. Keep us locked in as we are your NFL headquarters here on NFL Daily. Live for both the AFC and NFC Championship this weekend. We will see you then. For Big Tex, I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us.